Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be playing in the brand new Neon Obsession palettes from Huda Beauty. I am going to do a look with each one of these, so you guys will see that. But before I do that, I'm going to show you guys the swatches, give you guys all the information, and then at the end, as always, I will give you guys my thoughts. This collection contains 3 new palettes and they retail for $29 each. I'm assuming that the $2 price increase is because of the packaging. Her previous ones have been this cardboard packaging, and these have really nice heavy-duty plastic beautiful packaging. I didn't mind the last one, but the extra $2 spent on this doesn't bother me either because I just think this is really nice. So all of these have plastic packaging. First up, we have the Neon Orange palette. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the swatches. This one has 6 matte shadows in yellows, oranges, and pinks, and then 3 metallic eyeshadows in yellows, oranges, and pinks. Next, we have the Neon Green palette. This one definitely has the most shimmers. It has 3 mattes in greens and pinks, and then 4 shimmer eyeshadows in yellow and neutrals, and then 2 metallic shadows in copper and duochrome blue. Lastly, we have the Neon Pink. This one contains 5 matte eyeshadows in bold pinks and purples, 3 metallic eyeshadows in purple, fuchsia, and periwinkle, and then 1 shimmer eyeshadow in baby pink. Now, if you're noticing that my swatch area looks a little bit different, that's because my swatch queen is not here and I had to make something work. So I took a little spot on my leg where I didn't have any tattoos and I had this empty spot and I just swatched them there. So if you notice that, that is why. But now I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of the information from the Sephora's website. It says, this is a range of neon pressed pigment palettes inspired by Huda's obsession for neon colors, offering versatile looks from subtle to vivid and colorful. Each Huda Beauty Neon Obsession palette is packed with a selection of 9 highly pigmented mattes, creamy metallics, and striking shimmers, all with smooth and blendable texture. It's available in 3 neon color themes: neon orange, neon green, and neon pink. I do want to mention her use of the term pigments. Pigments are not considered to be eye safe, so they can't be called eyeshadows because that alludes to the fact that you can use them on your eyes safely. Some people can have reactions. There are staining. When I took off the look I was wearing with the pink palette, I did have a little bit of staining. It was not major, but I do want to let you guys know, for anybody who does not like that or sensitive, just keep that in mind. Now let's go ahead and get into this eye look, which I'm going to forewarn you, when I first started it, I was like, I am not liking this. I do like how it turned out in the end, but I was not feeling it there for a hot second, but I do like how it turned out in the end. So I'm going to start off with this one, and then I will move on to the other 2. Zoeva 227 and the lightest green in the palette. Very curious to see if this shows up. I can see it a little bit, but as I blend it out, it's just barely there. Putting on the outer corner, up into the transition area, being kind of messy because I don't think you really see there's any harsh edges of this shade. Let's see if I can build it up a little bit. I'm bringing this up rather high, like almost to my brow. I'm going to stick with the same brush, but now I'm going to pick up the darker green. It's not really dark, but it's, you know, darker than the last shade. And yeah, I can definitely see this one more. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just not going to bring it up quite as high as I did the last shade. Sonia G Crease Pro and this metallic blue. I'm going to start on the outer corner. And I know using a fluffy brush like this is going to kind of give just a wash of the color. So I am going to lay it down first, blending it up into the crease. And then I'll add a little bit with a flat brush later, maybe. We'll see how this blends out, or how this builds on itself. I can't talk. I am not bringing this further into the crease. I want it just to be on this outer portion here. And go back in right around the edges with just the excess from my brush. Esom W21, I'm going to pack this on the outer corner, same shade. I'm adding just a little bit more into the crease because I feel like I need like a little bit more depth to this outer corner to be brought up higher. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and I think I'm actually going to use my finger and see how it applies on the center of the lid. I'm taking my pinky and adding the blue and then going back and mixing the last shade. Okay, back and forth on the lid. Continuing on with my finger, I'm going to grab this center shade. I'm going to apply that to the inner corner. I am feeling like my eyes look muddy. I think it's that green. So I'm going to fluff away this outer edge as much as I can. This is a Wayne Goss number 16. And then I'm gonna pick up that like peachy shade. I need to add something to this. Not feeling it. I'm grabbing this shade right down here with the same brush. Add that to the outer corner. MAC 242, and I'm gonna grab this shade right here very lightly so I can highlight my brow arch. I dusted away my fall. Now I am going to go in for the lower lash line. Sonia G Pencil Pro and the metallic blue. I am using this wet, and I'm going to apply this basically to the outer half of the lower lash line. Same brush, and I wiped it off, and now I'm going to pick up this shade. I am again using this wet. I'm going to connect right here, still leaving a little spot right at the front though. I actually don't think this shade looks nearly as pretty wet as it did with my finger. Wayne Goss 27S in the middle shade. I'm using this one wet. Again, it just doesn't do as well as it does with my finger when I use it wet. I'm just gonna keep packing it on. I'm a little nervous to do this, but I'm going to take the same brush and this metallic green yellow, and I'm popping this right on the inner corner. I didn't re-wet my brush, I just picked it up. Alright, that's not bad. Okay, I'm going to finish blending this out, and then I'm going to go add liner and lashes. I finished off the look with a pair of Kiss Ritzy lashes and a Milk Boss liner on the top inner rim. I'm starting off with the pink Neon Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here on a MAC 217. I'm sorry, most of my brushes are dirty, so some of the brushes I'm using right now are going to be ones that I don't typically use on camera anymore, but we gotta use them today. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to the outer corner. And I'm gonna bring it upwards. I'm gonna add and blend upwards, basically sticking to this outer corner. Esom S33 and this bright pink. I'm going to place, tap off. Placing this on the inner portion of the crease and the inner corner. Was not ready for that. I'm just gonna blend it upward. I'm going to blend it into the purple, just so they merge nicely together. Picking the 217 back up, I'm gonna go in with this darker purple. In case anyone is wondering what I'm listening to, it's Judge Judy. I'm taking this shade and I'm placing it right on the outer corner. I'm gonna bring it into the crease, but I'm not gonna bring it as high as I took the last purple. MAC 242 and this middle shade. I'm going to place this on the outer portion of the lid. This shade is rather stiff, but at the same time it is applying to the lid, so I'm basically just layering it up. Now I'm going to go in with the shade on the bottom. Same brush, I just wiped it off. Like, you really have to dig in here, just letting you know. I'm placing this on the front portion of the lid and then dragging it over. I definitely think these are going to work better and be more intense if they were wet, but I just like testing out shadows dry. Still using the same brush, I'm going to go in with this top metallic shade. I'm going to highlight my brow arch. Refer P07E and this lighter pink shade. I'm going to run this right along the lower lash line. Same brush and picking up that dark purple again, and I'm going to take this right on the outer corner. I guess this is like more of a fuchsia. It's really pretty. I'm going to take this metallic pink on a MAC 219 pencil brush and I'm going to use it wet. I'm applying this right to the front portion of the eye, dragging about halfway out. Same brush and the shade we used to highlight the brow arch. I'm using this wet and I'm going to highlight the inner corner. I'm going to finish this eye off camera later when I finish this one with mascara or whatever, liner, whatever I decide to do. But now I'm going to move on to this eye and I'm going to use the orange neon palette. Stilazzi Crease Blender and this middle shade. I am going to apply that to the outer corner and blending it upward, just like we did on the last side. It's a really pretty melon shade. I'm going to go ahead and bring this into the inner corner, using this as a transition shade from outer all the way inner. Stilazzi Color Blend and the bottom corner matte shade. And I'm going to apply this only to the outer portion, so the outer corner, and kind of blending upwards as well. Esam S33 and this shade right here. I'm going to add a little bit more depth to the outer corner. Just using tapping motions. MAC 242 and this orange metallic. And just the same as the other palette, I'm really having to dig into this. I'm going to start applying this to the center of the lid. And as you can see, there's not a lot getting laid down, but then when I start to add layers, that's when it starts to kind of melt onto my lid. And again, you could use this wet, but I'm just trying to see what it looks like dry. I'm only applying this to the center and then tapping a little bit over the last dark shade we laid down, and then all the way up to the crease. Now I'm going to go in with this neon yellow green, and I'm first going to pick it up pretty lightly because I want to highlight my brow arch with it, but I do not want a lot of product. So you can see a hint of it, but it's not overbearing. And then I dig in the shade and I'm applying it to the inner corner and tapping over the last little orange shade we've laid down. This one's flaking up a little bit, just FYI. MAC 221 and this matte yellow shade. I'm going to run this along the lower lash line. Ooh, that has some pigment to it. Smith 220 and back in with this shade. I'm going to stamp this on the outer corner. Going back in with the MAC 221, no additional product, just blending that together. And then again, adding. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that yellow again on the MAC 221, just a little bit, tap off the excess. I kind of want to go right outside here. Just kind of blowing it out just a little bit. MAC 209, and again with that yellow metallic shade. I am using this wet because I want to apply it right here to the inner corner, and that's it. And then I'm going to go and add on some lashes and mascara, liner, whatever, and I'll be right back. To finish off those last two looks, I did the same thing as this one. Kiss Ritzy lashes and then Boss Milk liner on my top inner rim. Now let's get into my thoughts. So for the first thing, I have to say I really do like the plastic packaging. I do prefer it over the cardboard, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to me. I think that these look stunning. My least favorite is the one that I wore today, mainly because I feel like you have to put more work into it. So this is the neon green. I feel like this shade right here could be left out completely. I would have liked to have seen a darker neon green over here, and this had been the light green. This is not going to show up on a lot of people. I'm a light skin tone, NC20, and it barely showed up on me. So I feel like any darker than me, maybe NC25 max, it's just not going to show up, and I feel like this does the job anyway. So I feel like this could have been taken out. And these shimmers, these are more of the duochrome type of look, so they're not going to be really opaque. The most opaque is definitely the blue, and then this shade down here, which I didn't use. I like this palette. I really like my look right here, but I feel like you do have to put quite a bit of work into it. And this palette, you are going to want to use your fingers. The fingers is the best way to do it. Brush and even wet brush application is just a little bit harder. You could go in with a glitter glue, and I think it's going to really make it impactful. I love the colors in here. These are some of my favorite colors, but out of all of them, I would say that this is the one that is the hardest to use. And now something else I want to mention, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the pink palette, is that the shimmers in here are much harder pressed. So let me pick up, this is the Huda Emerald Obsessions palette. And as you can see, like they're almost kind of like a little bit chunky, and they're really soft. They pick up a lot easier. Whereas these, when you first get them, when you touch them even, it looks like you're not going to have any payoff at all. These are just harder pressed in there. So you have to dig with your brush just a little bit to get it to kind of loosen up and start applying to the eye. I didn't have any issues with this palette nor the orange one. So those two are definitely my favorites. But if I had to pick an absolute favorite, it would be the pink one. I think I will get more looks out of this because you can do pink, purple, or like that kind of corally look. This one right here I also like a lot. I like the look that I got, but I feel like between the two you're almost getting repeating shades. And even in this one right here, when you swatch them, these two shades down here, they look pretty darn close, you know, so you're not gonna get, I feel like, again, they probably should have changed one of these shades right here. I did find the pigment in the mattes on these to be better than I had anticipated, because the warm palettes in the past, I've had to do a lot of building, and I didn't feel like I really had to do a lot of building with these. The building really came with the metallic shades because I had to layer them on top of each other and kind of dig at them to make them work, but they worked, so I can't knock them. I did have some requests to compare these palettes to the Petite Pro number 5 Soleil from Viseart, so I'm going to go ahead and show you them side by side. So here we have Soleil. This is the pink palette, pink neon palette. As you can see, this one's just brighter, but the purple is pretty similar, and I actually prefer the purple that is in the Soleil palette. And then the neon orange. The yellow in the Soleil is definitely much brighter. This one has a little bit more of a mustard hue to it. That's going to be a matter of preference. I found that this one did pack a little bit of a punch more than I had anticipated, but this one works really well as well. And as far as like the pinks, these are more of like a watermelon, and this is definitely more neon. And then there's really no similarity with the green one, but I'll show you just for giggles. There you have it. So final thoughts on the palettes. I like them. So I think that these are really beautiful. There's just a few cons, and that's going to be that the shimmers you really have to work with. I feel like the green palette is the hardest to work with, but it also is one of the prettiest when it comes to like the sheen of it, but it's still really difficult to work with. And then with these two, I feel like there are some overlapping shades that don't need to be in there, that you're gonna have like 2 or 3 times over when you have both of them especially, but I like them. I think that they are really beautiful and very summertime appropriate. For $29, I can't really be that mad. You guys let me know what you think about each of the looks. What do you think about the palettes if you have tried them? Are you going to try them? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.